Welcome to the most entertaining X minutes of your video game week. What's going on, everybody? Hi, I'm
Hello.
Hey.
High energy. You're listening to WW 3.3 Radio. I'm your host, Raphael here. Fuck. I don't mess up my own name. Okay, anyway.
Because it's Mexican.
I need to shave efficiently Mexican right now.
Maybe we should come up with an intro later, but podcast now.
Just end the podcast with the intro.
No, I'm saying we'll just post-edit and put it together.
I'm not gonna do that shit. Anyway. Games of the week, I guess, starting. So, what games you guys been gaming?
Well, I played a new game. I played Alice Madness Returns.
Oh yeah, I heard about
and
that.
I don't think it's as bad as the reviewers are, making it out to be.
Has it gotten that bad of review scores? 7s mostly. That's not bad.
I mean, I think it's kind of heaping a lot of shit on the game for, a few glitches do kind of hold it down, and the problem is, mostly the PC optimization is kind of non-existent, and it uses physics, which is retarded, and nobody likes it. I'm actually looking it up. I'm looking it up right now.
Alright.
I don't know what physics means, but I assume it's important.
Well, it's
probably an engine.
The important thing is you can't get PC level graphics unless you have an NVIDIA graphics card, and it's already something that
No ATI support that way?
Huh?
No ATI
Yeah, that sounds really strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is ATI support, but you get what you get is closer to a console version rather than actual PC level graphics. But the actual physics effects are kind of trivial at best. It's you get liquid physics or whatever, and it's it's not only is it already about to be superseded by an open standard that ATI can use as well, but it's just kind of superfluous, and they could have spent that time making the graphics better on all platforms.
I suppose. I haven't really heard much about that game outside of the fact that it exists. I was meaning to watch Video Games Awesome do a stream of it the other day, but I think I was on 4chan. I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, I haven't finished much of it. I'm not very far into the game, but I played the first one. That was really good.
Really?
And
Your Steam account said you were 13 hours into it.
Oh, well, that's because my cousins were playing it while I was out doing other things.
That makes sense.
But no, I played it a bunch, and I really like the new combat system and all that stuff. And the story seems to be a little better than the first one, actually.
But what is it? Because from what I've seen, I can't really tell is it more of a 3D platformer or a action game, or which one?
Imagine, I guess, well, the combat, I guess, is very God of War-ish. It's you have different weapons and different dodge moves that you have to use in combos against different opponents, but
is the combo light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy?
Sort of.
Or is it more timing based, like a Devil May Cry?
No, definitely not timing based, although you do have to dodge attacks every once in a while.
I mean the actual combos, because Devil May Cry often does things like pause, then hit the third button again. Is it better with
nothing like that.
No.
You just keep mashing on the left mouse click and just control the crazy bitch stabbing.
You've been playing that with
alive teapots with a kitchen knife, and that's pretty fun.
Sounds pretty, well, not easy, the game's easy, but just easy to control,
Oh yeah, the controls are really nice, although I always end up having to turn down the sensitivity on my mouse because the movement, at least on PC, is really jerky on a normal mouse sensitivity, so I have to...
Wait a sec. You're playing it with, you're playing the character action game with a keyboard and mouse.
Yes. It doesn't have controller support, that's probably a problem.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, I should look that up before I start talking about whether or not it has controller support.
I was about to say, because this is, well, I mean, we're going to come back to it later because this is a game I've been playing, but I've been playing Devil May Cry 4 on PC, and I tried it with the mouse, and I have a 360 controller, but that was, comparatively, maybe it's just because I play more action games, that was madness. Returns, maybe. Playing fun of it, but I can't imagine playing like a God of War with a mouse.
Well, I think something we should touch on, because it's just something that happened lately, and also because I finally got something for my computer, so now it's got 1.5 gigs of RAM, so it can actually run games. I've been playing Team Fortress 2 because now it's free to play.
We all have.
I know.
Oh, did you actually start getting that to work? Because I've been playing that like non-stop.
Yeah, I've started to, and it's pretty
It
fun.
works well.
It actually works fairly well. The frame rate's a little weird, and my mouse is a piece of shit. But that's
have you messed around with the video settings and
Yeah.
stuff? Have you like turned down the resolution at all?
Yeah, I think I did.
And it's still frame rating?
I mean, I think, I don't know, it might be part of my internet. My computer is still old, it's from 2005, but...
Real quick, so we don't get off the one game I can talk about. I'm on the game for the page for Alice Madness Returns, and I'm not seeing a controller gamepad compatibility thing. It just says, single player over next to the features.
Yeah, I would say it on... Wait, the page on Steam?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't really think it has controller support, but the keyboard and mouse controls are fine. Once I dealt with the mouse sensitivity, the only problems I really have with it are the use of physics, which nothing really uses, and but the game still looks pretty amazing. It's like really stylized and all that, and the platforming's not bad. I saw a lot of reviewers like bashing the platforming, saying it hasn't learned anything in the last few console generations or whatever, but I kind of read that as, this isn't Mario or Call of Duty, herp derp 7.
What?
The thing is, I mean...
It's like, oh, this isn't Mario Galaxy 7.
But the thing is, I guess, like, reviewers do tend to
review
do that, like...
Nintendo games.
But I'm just
Well,
saying, it's the only,
I guess-
it's the big platformer that it's gonna get compared to.
I guess, but... I mean, is it heavily a platforming game? It sounds like an action game.
Yeah.
Well, it's like half and half. You get a little bit of combat with platforming sections in between the combat, and also a few puzzles. Well,
Didn't God of War have that?
Huh?
Didn't, like, God of War have that?
Yeah, it's a lot like God of War, actually.
So why aren't they just comparing it to God of War, saying it's a shitty God of War, herp to herp? 7.
So basically, Dante's Inferno?
Yeah,
But
sure.
I actually did see a lot of people comparing it to Super Mario Galaxy, which is why I thought that was weird, but...
How is the jump? Does it jump like in God of War? Because God of War was not made for platforming.
Well, I actually like the jumping in Alice a lot more than say God of War, because it has not only does it have like a quadruple jump that you can do, you can like
It's a lot of jumps.
you can like do the double jump
Oh,
like
shit.
4 times in the air, but then you can also you have a glide function, so you can just glide down.
Well,
Kind of hard to explain.
I don't know.
Oh.
So what would we give it as a rating?
I'd probably give it an 8 or 9, like definitely not a 7, but an 8 or 9, depending on how many points you want to take off for like invisible walls, a few glitches, some repetitive puzzles, and bad, well, not great PC optimization, because even though the PhysX, like, the PhysX it works on other games, but even for NVIDIA cards, I hear people are getting slowed down with like top-of-the-line NVIDIA cards trying to run this game, and it's just piss-poor optimization on their part. But so I guess an 8 probably, because there's a lot of, I think the rest of the game kind of makes up for it. So I would knock it off.
I don't really have any comments because I haven't heard much about the game or seen a lot of anything about the game, like I said.
I've seen a few screenshots and a little bit of video, but art style seems nice. That's pretty much all I can say for it.
Oh well.
No demo art yet.
Well, I'll probably have more to say on it once I actually finish the game, but yeah, that's all I really have to say about it for now.
Alright, so next topic.
Well, I guess we just head straight on back to Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Onward.
I'm a terrible. I just can't play online first-person shooters.
Why not?
I don't know, unless... I mean, I guess I could... I'm not too bad at Call of Duty, because that really is just all Twitch-based, and I'm sort of trained on that because of, like, Devil May Cry and stuff, with timing and stuff, but it's just... I don't know.
You wouldn't play less, like, something that's really easy to play, like Soldier, or Medic, or Heavy, or an easy class?
I mean, I typically am, like, playing as Soldier, but... I'm just saying that I'm not very good at it.
Oh, well...
Yeah.
It's still a lot of fun.
It is. I'm glad I got into Black Ops for that time, but now that just means I need to get back into online first-person shooters, which, I don't know, I think it's more of just I need to get more used to the learning curve because I haven't really played... Because my computer is still shitty and my mouse is shitty. Well, my computer is kind of shitty. My mouse is not optimal because, like, it sticks every now and then, but I just gotta learn the controls. But I've been playing a lot as a Spy and Scout just because they're fun characters to play as. And... generally, it's pretty fun, except, you know, obviously with my computer's frame rate issues and connection issues, it's sometimes a little difficult to get my targets. Maybe I just need to... I'm still trying to play around with the mouse sensitivity, though, but...
You should check if you have VSync on your computer, because that can really F up a lot of games.
I guess, but it's not really anything that's really that big of a problem to me, because that's just...
VSync?
I feel bad for you guys, because whenever I turn on a game, I just crank all the video settings up to the top and roll with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on a laptop, so...
But, even so, it's still a pretty fun game that I should probably play more, but you guys need to fucking add me on Steam, because I can't
yeah, I'll get that
I
after the
did.
podcast,
I sent an invitation.
Alright,
Can I get a word in, though? One thing I think people usually forget about online first-person shooters is that they're inherently competitive, and when you start playing something that's competitive, you're not going to be good at it at all. Like, you're obviously going to get your ass kicked right when you start because you're just starting. And it takes, like, days, weeks to get into, like, something online and competitive. Even, like,
Tony, it takes 5
which
minutes.
is really easy to start. Sorry, I just wanted to finish my thoughts.
Sorry. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. What?
Oh, I was just saying, it only takes 5 minutes to get used to it if you're Tony.
Oh, well, that's because Tony does nothing but sit around and play Call of Duty all day, so when he, like, hops on another first-person shooter, he's like, oh, well, it's like Call of Duty, except I scope more, you know? Like...
I guess.
And you haven't played Black Ops in forever, but even for me, when I started Team Fortress, I wasn't that good. Now I think I'm doing all right.
I guess just gotta play more Team Fortress.
Well, I guess we should move on, and speaking of getting your ass kicked, I've been playing Devil May Cry 4 on very hard because I hate myself.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Talk about
That
it.
game... Devil May... You guys... I don't know how much character action games you guys have played. Like, I know, Thomas, you played God of War and Alice and stuff. Have you played any? Have you played any character action games, Daniel?
Depends on what you define.
Like God of War, Devil May Cry, God Hand, Bayonetta.
No. I don't know. Infamous, I guess, but I haven't really played much Infamous.
Anyway, like, I sort of mentioned one thing you can do in there. It's, instead of the standard, well, I mean, the first Devil May Cry was kind of like the first character action game, but instead of the light heavy system, it has a gun and sword. But something really cool about this one is this thing called the Devil Bringer, which is pretty much just, it's like a robot arm, but instead of a robot, it's demons. It's kind of retarded, but at least it's not made of your wife. But you can
My cat is raiding the door. Hang on, I'm gonna open this door.
Well
Well,
speaking of cats, we should continue with Devil May Cry, right? Meow.
But, shut the fuck up.
You gotta be kidding me,
my
Daniel.
cat's a fucking retard. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Cat jokes.
Okay.
But we devolved from Devil May Cry. The Devil Bringer is a new function in Devil May Cry 4, which you can just like reach across the screen to bring motherfuckers right to you, and it's so much fun. Except for I can't think of another game that really has the same problem with, I mean, like, Devil May Cry, personally, I think it's the best combat of any action game series out there. It's really fun, but, like, halfway through the game, you switch back to the characters from the previous game, Dante, because, like, for the first half of Devil May Cry 4, you play as Nero, who is the Arm. And when you switch to Dante, you get a whole shitload of new weapons, you get new abilities, you have, like, a whole set of new gameplay types, 4 different ones that you can switch from between on the fly. And it's ridiculously deep combat. You can potentially create infinite combos. The problem is, you have to play through the entire game you play through as Nero backwards.
Huh.
What?
Interesting.
And there's even one puzzle that, it looks the exact same, you go into that puzzle the exact same way. The answer is completely different.
Troll.
Okay.
And the problem is, like, you go through, it's one of those things you go through into this room, there are 4 exits, then you go through one of them, but then the second time around, you have to go back the way you came. I have no idea how you're supposed to figure that the fuck out.
Bomb jump up to it, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I was trying to get
But
Ocarina of Time 3D the other day, because it's like the only good 3DS game that's out, apparently.
Yeah, so far, I mean, actually, I don't know. I mean, other people looking forward to Kid Icarus Uprising and Star Fox 3D, which I haven't really excited about.
I want Kid Icarus Uprising
Yeah,
because
me
it
too.
looks like Sin and Punishment plus the aforementioned Devil May Cry.
Wait, you want what?
Kid Icarus Uprising. Except
Oh, Kid Icarus.
the melee combat on ground does not look that good. The rail shooting sections look very similar, but the ground combat does not look... It needs work.
I don't know, personally it just doesn't seem like my kind of game. The Kid Icarus, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I still need to get around to finishing the first Kid Icarus. I've been playing that for like... Actually, I haven't really
That's
played
not a
this.
good game.
It's... I think it's a good game. It's just a very difficult game. It's notorious for being pretty difficult.
Which game?
Kid Icarus on the NES.
It's not like I'm opposed to hard games. Like I said, I've been playing Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
I'm very hard. It took me 12 tries to beat the first level.
Of course.
But Kid Icarus, I just don't like it.
I don't know. It looks good, and I've just been meaning to play
Oh!
it. It's a...
No, just really quick. I realized something why it's probably been so hard for me on Devil May Cry 4. On the PC version, it's only on the PC version, there's an option you can turn on turbo mode, which just increases gameplay by 20%. I still have that on very hard. Shit.
Whoops.
Oh, well. So I guess that's that.
Anyway.
Moving
But did
on.
you see the Kid Icarus E3 trailer?
I think so. Yeah.
Where it was like the dude ripped straight out of Final Fantasy. Or something, not Final Fantasy. Like
Yeah,
the
that guy,
Tales
and-
of Vesperia game or something. Shit.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
Yeah,
That-
I remember though from that trailer. One thing I remember in particular was
Shit.
Icarus's voice, or Pit's voice actor.
It's Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, and I was just thinking to myself.
You know who Johnny Young Bosch plays?
Who?
Nero in Devil May Cry 4. That's Johnny Young Bosch.
Cool.
I could have used the transition there, but...
But
too late.
I was thinking though when I first heard that voice, like, really didn't choose that voice actor. But after a few minutes, I realized, oh, that's actually pretty appropriate. And I was thinking back to like, first thing that came to mind was when I first heard like Mega Man's voice actor for Mega Man 8, and I'm like, yeah, at least they.
No, that is always terrible.
I know,
If you
but I'm
see-
saying it
that's-
could have been worse.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's actually pretty appropriate. Well, because I mean, Kid Icarus is a kid, or Pit is a kid. I like Kid Icarus, you know.
Hmm.
Think about it. So it actually makes a little more sense than Mega Man having a child's voice. But either way,
Okay.
I
Cool.
Right.
so
else been playing any games?
yeah, the last night when I was on the Steam shop looking for free-to-play games because I have no money, I downloaded a Spiral Knights, which is it's kind of like a I don't really know. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler. Not really a dungeon crawler, but like a I almost feel it's kind of Zelda-esque, but it's like an MMO and it's very cutesy and free to play. And when did it come out? Like 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. I was just playing that for like an hour or so, and it's pretty fun. My computer still has a little bit of issues running it sometimes, but it's just frame issues. I can work around that. But I think it's still a pretty fun game to just sit down and play around on for a little while. You just jump. You pretty much jump like right into the multiplayer, and after a short tutorial stage, and you're just going through these dungeons and hitting things with your sword and shooting things with your gun, and...
So, like, you haven't played Diablo, have you, or even...
No.
You know what Diablo is?
I think so?
Have you seen, like, Torchlight or Diablo, or...
No.
Like, is it loot-based?
Huh?
Is it all about, like, you kill the enemies, they drop loot?
Yeah,
Try to kill more enemies, it's all about getting the loot?
They do drop stuff, yeah, but...
And is the main, like, drive about the loot a lot of the time?
Not really, it's just about getting to the end of the dungeons.
So, okay, so it's not like a Diablo style thing. Okay.
No, it's more like a maze-based, I guess. Kind of like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I guess.
I haven't...
Hey, breaking news. Everybody gave Ocarina of Time 3D a 90. 90 plus, pretty much. Except for the Escapist. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
kidding.
remember,
No, what'd you say after the Escapist?
What?
What'd you say after the Escapist? I heard you mutter something. But...
I said jackass.
At first I thought you said Jim Sterling. Because
no, I don't think he writes for the Escapist.
Actually, he does, but not often. Which would be weird. But the greatest thing I put all week was probably my lawn milkshake string all the Hillians of the yard. I love you, Jim Sterling.
I read that on Twitter. But yeah, that is getting a lot of positive views, but I remember Stuttering Craig on Screw Attack, he gave it a review on the VGR segment they have on there. He gave it a rent it, which is like the middle rating.
No, he gave it an F it.
You did? I thought he gave it a...
I watched it yesterday.
That's right.
He gave it a what?
I'm thinking of it...
An F it. They have buy it, run it, and F it.
I'm thinking of it... No, I'm thinking of... Sorry, I'm thinking of Duke Nukem Forever, they gave it...
Oh,
rented.
F it, not...
Well, that's because Brian's dumb. But that's because Brian's dumb. But
I guess, but we'll talk about that later, but...
Yeah,
he did actually mention a good point, though, that Zelda is more of a game that you do sit down and play, and he mentioned that portable gaming is mostly a thing you do just kind of like to pass the time, which is, you know, it has to be easy for you to like just pick up and play and easy to stop, like...
Well, I mean, not really necessarily.
Well, why? Why, when you get a DS, it's like the difference between getting a DS and an iPhone. It's like, oh, herder, I'm gonna buy a freaking... $250 3DS so I can play Plants vs. Zombies? No, you want to get a 3DS so that you can play actual full experiences portably.
Yeah, but I think he's right in his assumption of assuming that the demographic that Nintendo is mostly aiming for is children, and it is... I personally...
Why does it have to be?
Huh? It just is. It's just that that's how Nintendo has worked.
This is sort of a transition, but, like, for instance, I've been playing Guilty Gear X Advance, which is a GBA fighting game. And, like, to get through the campaign, it's a fighting game, so it's one sitting to get through all of the single player, which is, like, an hour long. And that's not exactly funny, but that's probably one of my favorite games on the Game Boy Advance. Like, I've never really felt that way about portable games. I really do just sometimes sit down with my Game Boy Advance.
I mean, we all do, but I mean, that's just the original intent of what some people point that at. I mean, yeah, it's able to just... I mean, handhelds are able to just be sat down and played. I know I've done that before, but...
And I mean, like,
they're ideal for, like, you know, car trips. And...
Look at all of the JRPGs on the DS.
Yeah, really.
I mean, that comprises most of its library, really, and those aren't...
That's pretty
a lot of
because
them aren't
you
friendly.
can easily pick them up and then put them down, because, like, games like Pokemon or the Mario and Luigi series, they either have frequent save points you can save any time.
Not Mario and Luigi, the Game Boy Advance one.
Well, they have save blocks, I mean...
Yeah, they were pretty good about the save points, although
yeah.
I do think the whole save point idea is a little stupid, because, like, why not just make a game where you can save wherever, like...
Exactly.
Like Pokemon?
Yeah, like Pokemon, or
even
Ocarina of Time, it had a thing...
A lot of PC games, because, you know, they have quick saves. Like...
Yeah, I mean...
I replayed one of the challenge maps on Portal, and... Yeah, Portal does have save states.
Yeah, well, I
it's
can't
almost
think
like a save state, even, like the quick saves.
A quick save, yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, well, I can't really think of one right now at the top of my head. I mean, some games have autosaves, too. I think Kirby Superstar. But...
You know what game has the best game saves?
What?
World of Warcraft.
Wait, I'm just gonna say, can't you just... It's the best part, or at least my favorite part about the DS and 3DS. I don't know if the 3DS does it, but I'm gonna assume it does. You can just close the lid.
And put it in sleep
it's put in the save state sleep mode, and when you open it, it's the same exact point.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much.
it's not like it's turning off the system. That's
So
just,
I mean, and one of his problems with it, like the portability, had to do with the 3DS itself, which has a not good battery. But
yeah.
I mean,
The battery
if the 3D doesn't,
Yeah,
if the 3D doesn't help it, like you said, you could turn it off, and then you do have sufficient memory to do like, not like a
if you
super
turn
long
off
road
the
trip,
3D,
but
whether the 3D is on or not actually has absolutely nothing to do with how much battery is drained, because it's going to render the two views even if you're not using both of them. That's why Street Fighter 4 3D had or Super Street Fighter, I can't remember which one it was, but it had a feature that you could disable the 3D in the software, and it would actually run at like full 60 FPS when you turned off the 3D.
It only ran at 30.
Well, it was something like that. I know it gave it a significant frame rate boost when it turned off the 3D and battery life improvement as well.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that about that and maybe some other 3D games. I don't think Ocarina of Time has this problem, but when you're running it with 3D on, then it does drop the frame rate, which is understandable, but
I've heard
so
someone.
dumb.
yeah.
Like, why for this gimmick? I don't like the 3D at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my 3DS. It's an awesome device, and I really like it. I just wish it wasn't 3D so I could have more battery and maybe use both of those processors for even better graphics on a portable device.
I guess you're right, but I mean, I remember the graphics
I mean,
are pretty
Nintendo's been
close to,
doing
like,
this. Nintendo's been doing this a lot lately. You saw it with the Wii, the 3DS, and the original DS, and now the Wii U. It has like some processing power behind it, but like the Wii, part of that processing power goes to the Wiimotes and recognizing all of software because of the extra motion controls and like sending the
Wii U
audio signal out of the remote.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
okay, the Wii example, that doesn't have that much processing power to begin with. But I mean,
it's
the
just a game.
DS, the original DS, the two GameCube stuck taped together. The DS did that with the touchscreen, like that. It had to render both the top and bottom screen, and now the 3DS is sort of split into three ways with the rendering power.
No, you're right. It literally has to render 3 views.
And then the
like
Wii U,
hooking a graphics card up to 3 monitors.
the Wii U has to render for the tablet controller too, and it streams like without lag at all. So that must take a tremendous amount of processing power, like
Which
lag.
at the end of the day, it could have been used to make the game better. Make the game was better.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like
gimmicks that I'm just.
Nintendo's been
sick
doing
of
that a lot recently. They've been splitting their processing power like that.
Yeah,
And
Nintendo
it's
does
odd.
oftentimes capitalize on their gimmicks just because, they're gimmicks. But, I mean, that's the selling point of their console. Also, just be bland. They're trying to outdo something in the competition by targeting a certain audience.
But the 3D isn't a good gimmick. Because, I mean, there are things you could do with motion controls you couldn't do with the controller. There are things you could do with the touchscreen you couldn't do with an ordinary controller. But what can 3D do?
Well, personally, I think 3D is, if we're going to compare gimmicks here, I think 3D is like the shinier turd over the motion control, because the motion control is just a pain in the ass, and it makes it harder to play games. And the 3D is just
completely
kind of there.
disagree with that.
I mean, I think what they're trying to do with 3D, if you remember, maybe you probably don't because we were all kids around, like young kids around then. But when the N64 came out, and I'm sure the same sort of argument could have been made when the N64 came out that, 3D is just a gimmick. And, well,
3D graphics.
Yeah,
but
3D. I mean, they're doing
actually, that's not true at all, because, I mean...
But that actually enhances gameplay.
Yeah.
It makes different types of games, but you can do different like I was saying, you can do different types of games with touchscreens and motion controls, but what can you do different with a 3D? Like...
Yeah, like, the N64 was launched... Here, what? The N64 was launched with Super Mario 64, so they brought out this new idea of 3D, which actually might not have been new when the N64 came out, but they said, we're going to make a 3D console, and here's the game that comes with it that's the proof that this 3D can work. It's a new kind of game. We've brought our old mascot into a 3D world. You can control him with this joystick, and it's a new kind of game, and it's extremely fun. And that's what we're going to do with this technology, and they kept working with that technology. 3DS and Wii didn't do that. They never...
Neither did the DS either. I mean, it wasn't until, like, Kirby... What was that Kirby game?
Oh, Kirby launch was I mean, not Kirby. I'm retarded. The DS launch was ass.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
DS 3D is-
like the proof and concept games for Nintendo's, like this generation, I guess, like because the NGP, 3DS, Wii U, the rumored Xbox, new Xbox and stuff. That's the coming generation, I guess. But I mean, like this generation, I guess it's weird because we're sort of like a limbo right now, where the Wii U's about to come out, 3DS just came out, NGP's gonna come out. It's how to go this shit. But
Really-
anyway,
I guess, but
More than anything, I hope that the Wii U is effectively a Dreamcast. So like it has a little bit more power, but then when Sony and Xbox just come up and crush the fuck out it, like I think the casual
I don't think anybody at Nintendo ever want. I don't think anybody at any business wants anything of theirs to be compared to a Dreamcast. No, that's not.
I want Nintendo. I want Nintendo to pull a Sega and start making third-party games for other consoles, so I can play them. So I can play good Nintendo games on better consoles. I want to play Zelda on my PlayStation. Is what I'm saying.
yeah, but you know that's probably not going to happen just because of how well established Nintendo
But
is
it
in the
might.
game industry.
They never sell at a loss. They made money off the GameCube, for God's sake.
Yeah, but what if the stars freaking and the planets align, and there's like the casual audience just looks at this freaking iPad with buttons and says, "Wow, that's too complicated. I'm gonna go with something else," because that's like what they were trying to get people with the gimmick. It's like, oh, it's so easy to use, but then they try to like freaking mash together a DualShock and an iPad, and they got this abomination. And then they
We should probably go back to the 3DS and save the Wii U talk for later. I was just thinking about that.
Can I just finish this thought though?
Okay, I know. After this thought, of course. Yeah.
Right. And then like the hardcore audience, like I mean I don't know about the rest of the actual gaming audience, but unless I see some pretty solid games on this machine, I'm not going to go buy it because like I got like the only game that I even sort of care about from Nintendo is like Zelda and Animal Crossing and like maybe Mario and Smash Brothers, but Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers and even Zelda are all coming to the 3DS, so what do I need a stupid Wii U for?
I don't know. Well,
Oh, sorry, that's my Wii U rant. You can go on this yourself.
yeah, but 3DS then.
I don't even remember what we were talking about, and I even had a transition from Ocarina of Time to another game, and I don't even remember.
Oh well, but talking about the 3DS, yeah, I mean they didn't really implement the 3D as well as they could have, but then again, how else could they have implemented it? I mean, I think what they could have done better was implement like the augmented reality, because I think that's part of what they were trying to get there was like believe that you're like looking into a window to another dimension, because with the 3D, you know, you can see the depth of it, which the augmented reality is obviously done with like the AR cards and like Pokédex 3D, but it wasn't really too well done with any other games.
Yeah, well, if they were going for that, then they should have put in some better fucking cameras. Like, I think they had better cameras on cell phones 10 years ago, and they're just like, oh, well, it's cheap, right? And just put it in there and have blurry graphics and do augmented reality.
Yeah, but whatever. We'll see in due time if Nintendo ever finds a way to make the 3D good, if they're just going to kind of leave it as a gimmick that game developers are just going to throw in because it's on the 3DS.
Probably.
But then,
No.
but then again, now I'm thinking with like the PlayStation Vita or the PlayStation Cow, as I like to call it, just because I think Vita is cow in some language. But they got the.
No, it's not.
I thought I heard that somewhere.
I don't think so.
Oh well. Either way.
I don't know. Living La Vida Loca.
Either way, with the Vita, they got the back touchscreen, which I remember them making a deal about at the Sony press conference. Which is like, why? I mean, again,
The back
that's
touchscreen? Back touchscreen you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sorry.
the back touchscreen.
Maybe I'm just less opposed to gimmicks than most gamers, because, like, I loved, like, what was that fighting game on the DS that used the touchscreen? Like Bleach something or other, and then Red Steel 2 on the Wii, one of my favorite games of all time, and that was on Motion Plus, and then, I can't remember the Yoshi's Tilt and Tumble. I love that game, and I don't even know why, but...
Oh wait, no, I did just love that game.
Yeah, I know, right? But, I don't know, I look at that and there are possibilities. Like, apparently, in the Dynasty Warriors demo that they showed there, when you have, like, on the touchscreen on the back, it has like a blue circle on the showing it on the display screen of where your fingers are on the back, so you can keep track of that, which
Yeah, but I think
a really good idea.
I almost feel like that Sony kind of did that because of what Nintendo did with the 3DS. They're trying to add another like sense of depth to the game and like a different dimension. Which I feel like some game companies do that a lot. Just after like Nintendo or Sony introduces something, then the other companies need to follow suit and come out with something else. Like,
I think the nice thing about the Vita is that it doesn't, like, it has these, like, weird gimmicky features, but it's like, the problem with a lot of these gimmicks, like the motion control, is, like, they'll shove it down people's throats, and then a couple developers will take it, and they'll do something good with it, like you mentioned, the Red Steel, the Yoshi's Turn and Tumble, and all that stuff. And, there are a handful of good games.
Red Steel 2. Don't let anyone tell you Red Steel 1's a good game.
Yeah,
anyway, continue.
I've heard
Well,
that.
I was saying Red Steel 2 because that's what you brought up. But, I'm not saying that it can't work well. I'm just saying that, there's a handful of developers that actually want to use this feature, but for the rest of the developers, it's like they don't really want to use the feature, and with a system like the Wii, it's almost shoved down the developers' throats. It's like, oh, well, we don't want to have to make people use a GameCube controller because half the people that bought the Wii just want to waggle shit. So maybe we'll just develop for PS3 because that's simpler, or Xbox, or PC.
That's sort of like why I like the Wii, because it got all the weird games. Like, it got the Guilty Gears, and the Red Steel 2s, and the No More Heroes, and like the Rhythm Heavens, and I like my kooky stuff. But, I'm hoping the Vita gets the same kind of thing, because the PSP got a lot of weird games. Like, it got the Vocaloid rhythm games, and all that crap.
I wonder if the Cal will be backwards compatible.
No, they've said there's no UMD support.
Well, no UMD, but maybe like the digital download like the PS Go did.
That might be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's just a digital download, so I would think they would include some sort of way to emulate the PlayStation Go or whatever it was.
Oh, can I bitch about the 3DS for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
I was so pissed off when they launched the eShop, and they had their virtual console games, and then they were like, it's like, oh, we're gonna bring out like 3 fucking Game Boy Color games and charge $6 goddamn for them, when I could get every Game Boy Color game ever made and an emulator for free in about 5 minutes.
Well, the same goes with any resale.
Yeah, but it's like, don't they know that they're competing with like an entire online library? Like, at least lower the price and add some more games. Like, I would lower the price to like 99 cents and add a whole library of games. Also, Game Boy Advance would be nice because they took out the freaking slot, and now they're like, oh, probably too fucking good to run a Game Boy Advance emulator. Well, not good enough, I should say.
Has any game other than the launch PS3s ever had, any console other than the launch PS3s have 2 systems worth of backwards compatibility?
Well, DS original.
That didn't have
no, the DS original
that didn't have Game Boy Color or Game Boy.
Yeah, it didn't have first or second gen Game Boy compatibility.
Yeah, but it had the Game Boy Advance and the DS, and they were like 2 separate systems.
No, but 3 separate systems, because the launch PS3s had PS1, PS2, PS3.
But
like the Wii had with the Wii and the GameCube, 360, and selected original Xbox games. None of them had like 3 systems worth of games. Well,
the launch PS3s had they had software emulation for the except in Japan. In Japan, the launch ones had hardware emulation for the, well, not exactly emulation, it was just PS2 hardware shoved into the box. And then when they launched it in North America, they took out the PS2 hardware, added in an emulator that didn't work for everything, and then shipped it. And then they said, oh fuck, this doesn't work very well, and just took out the emulator, so now it only does PS3 and PS1. So it's really just an emulator.
Yeah.
I guess you could kind of say the Wii did have some. Well, it had obviously the emulation in its power, like
the virtual console.
Yeah, their virtual console, which.
Oh, well, that's true. It did go back to N64 because that was the one for GameCube.
Yeah, and SNES and NES, and also.
Other consoles. Those are also just emulator stuff. If you're talking about the GameCube, I would say that the GameCube has forward compatibility with motion control, and that's how we arrived at the Wii. But
yeah, exactly. But does the Wii U can have compatibility with GameCube? I can't remember.
Nope.
Didn't think so.
it doesn't. Wow, that's
Nope.
well.
Guess what they're heading back to? Proprietary discs.
Oh yeah.
Except that they are actually as big of, they can hold just as much as Blu-rays.
Yeah, that. I remember.
And they're not
No, they can
tiny.
hold like 12 gigs. I thought.
No, they're
No.
supposed to hold as
full
much
Blu-ray
as
size.
Blu-rays, but not Blu-rays.
It's like, because they only showed off, like, told about the single layer size, which is 25 gigs, which is a single layer Blu-ray size. And they could always
12 gig, but
multi-layer.
Yeah, but I don't even think the system's gonna have like Blu-ray or DVD compatibility, if I remember right.
Who cares? I mean, who doesn't have a DVD player at this point? Does anybody really want DVD player?
Yeah, right.
I've got a
Netflix,
computer.
they're probably gonna have Netflix support.
Well, I mean, everything is Netflix.
I have Netflix support. So, what now?
Do we have anything else to talk about?
Somehow we ended up not talking about games at all for about, let me see.
Well, we were talking about
Talking about the hardware.
Yeah, the hardware is pretty important. I mean,
Yeah, anyway.
is there anything else?
Anybody? Oh, I saw this awesome post on the Structure that talked about, you complained about the virtual game stuff, and they were
About
like,
what now?
the virtual console on 3DS, and they're like, oh, we're going to sort of all these great games, and the headline was just, the virtual console game this week is tennis, and then the body is just, fucking really, Nintendo? Really? Because, does anybody want tennis? That is the Game Boy virtual console game this week. Not like,
Wow.
so Donkey Kong for the Game Boy Advance is amazing, but
You know
That's
what?
that came out last.
Donkey Kong the other day, and I was like, really? Don't give two fucks about Donkey Kong.
It's
Can they at least
not Donkey Kong like the arcade. It's, well, I mean, it starts out the same, but then it, like, ends like the arcade game, but then suddenly it's totally different.
I'm surprised they haven't gone with the obvious and put a Pokemon game on there.
I think they're just waiting for people to bitch enough before they put it on there.
Because that totally walked through the Wii. Because, I mean, I'm totally excited to the Last Story and Xenoblade and all those games. I can't wait, right? And Mother 3. I love playing that on my Game Boy Advance.
Well, I mean, what was it? Like Operation Rainfall, now like, Xenoblade,
Nintendo's
like,
gonna... We should probably save that for news, because there is some news surrounding it.
we're gonna have a news segment?
Yep.
Okay.
Breaking news.
Segment. Hit the music.
No, we're still not done. Did anybody else play any games? Or should I just start talking about all the games I played?
I don't know, I played Ocarina of Time and Minecraft recently, but that's not really breaking.
We just talked about Ocarina of Time, too.
No, I mean like the original Ocarina of Time.
I know. Okay, but let's hear about
The
that.
thing that pisses me off about Ocarina of Time 3D is that they did not bring back a lot of the good glitches that made Ocarina of Time so cool. Speaking of Majora's
Are you, like, raping something, Thomas? What is happening?
My cat is trying to break the door down,
But speaking
like,
of Majora's
really hard, and if I open the door, it's just gonna look uninterested and walk away.
Speaking of Majora's
Then
Mask,
why did you do that?
But no,
Yeah,
I closed the door so that I could talk louder, but then my cat's just, like, scratching at the door, and then, but if I open the door, it's just gonna be like, oh, you thought I wanted to come in the room? Oh, no, and then it'll just walk away, then I'll close the door and it'll start.
And then it'll come back. Okay, then I guess we're just going to disappear it. Go on, Daniel.
Majora's Mask is out. They beat finally after like all these years. It's like an improvement of like an hour and a half or something. I forget how long the old one was. He beats it in one cycle.
Really?
Yeah, and he actually skips like, he does like 3 of the temples, if I remember right, in either like Night of the First Day or something, or Night of the Final Day, I think.
Jesus Christ, I have to see this.
I can't really remember, but
I don't know what
he
this means. I wish I could like Majora's Mask. I really do.
I
Why not? Why
was
why
able to get a lot more
don't...
into it after.
Everything about it should be me. It's the weirdest one in the series. It has, like, effed up stuff. It doesn't, like, it just has nonsensical bits and weird bits. It's kooky, and I should love that. But, I don't know. Something about it I just can't get
Well,
into.
it's a really short and easy game. I'll give it that.
Have you tried going back to it recently?
No, I haven't played in like half a year. Like when I tried to play it the first time.
Try going back to it and, like, I mean, personally, I can go through like the first 2 temples without a guide and maybe the 4th one. But as always, you want to use some kind of guide for the water temple because it's just an absolute bitch.
Yeah, although, I was able to get through after I learned how to, bomb staircase up past...
Wait, are we talking about Majora's Mask or
Yeah.
Ocarina?
Yeah.
Ocarina. There's a water temple in
Great
Majora's
Bay
Mask
Temple.
as well.
Oh, okay, I was about to say. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean...
It's called something else, like Great Bay Temple or something, but it's a water temple. You get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some people compare Snowhead as the water temple just because of the design, but Snowhead's easy.
Yeah, Snowhead is really easy, and even the water temple in Majora's Mask isn't nearly as bad as the water temple in Ocarina of Time. Good God.
Yeah.
So I hear they fixed it in...
They did, because now you can equip your iron boots as an equipable item, and they have, color coding in the,
Wait, so which Ocarina of Time version have you been
3D, we're
playing?
talking about 3D now, because you were saying they improved it.
Oh, wait, have you actually played 3D? Oh.
No, I'm
thought
going
you were
off
saying...
what I've heard. That now
Okay.
the
I was
iron
just
boots
wondering.
are an equipable item, so you can just equip them on and off easily without opening the menu. And
I hear they, color-coded some, room where you have to drain the water and...
yeah, they color-coded
change
the
water levels, so it's not...
hallways in the
no.
room, so it's not just all confusing. It's not a confusing mess anymore.
I heard they gave Princess Ruto fins to cover her tits.
God damn it.
I don't
She's
care.
not naked anymore.
Damn it.
Wait, is she the fish,
Yes.
the fish one? Okay, then
Yeah.
I don't care about Team Honey.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Like in the N64 one, it was just all blurry and shit. Now it's like, oh shit, we have a higher resolution. What do we do? Add tit fins.
Add nipples. Fish.
Oh, no nipples, just tit fins.
Damn it.
Uh,
Now I know what game I'm not buying.
like you buy it because you didn't have a 3DS.
What?
nothing like this.
I would buy it and emulate it with my mind. I can play through it with my head.
Which also has Netflix.
Or Raphael's monologue or news or what?
Oh yeah, breaking news segment. Let's go.
I just want to real quick point out a few other games I've been playing. First of all, Final Fantasy 12.
Gross.
Yeah.
I hate Final Fantasy games. I
too.
hate them. But that game is really good. Like, the first thing you fight in that game is a rogue tomato. I am in love with
I need
this
to play
game.
this game. I actually got my PS2 emulator up and running really nice.
And I'm, 40 hours into not 40 hours, 35 hours into it? I think it's supposed to be like 60 hours. And I'm loving every second of it because it's sort of like, you guys haven't played God Hand, so I can't say the God Hand of RPGs. Like, a lot of other RPGs, it's all about because it's not turn-based at all, unlike other Final Fantasy games. It's all active at all times. It's constantly moving, but it's not as much about quickly switching spell and stuff because there's this thing called the Gambit system, where you set up a list of things in order that each team member deserves to do, to focus on specifically. Oh, you want them all to focus on the enemy with the lowest health, so you can get him out of the way to attack the other enemies. Or oh, if this certain teammate, his health gets below 50%, throw a potion on him. And it gets rid of a lot of frustration that I've had with other JRPGs, which...
Yeah, I mean...
And
Speaking of which,
the saddest part is, I'm going to beat this before you even probably restart Final Fantasy 13.
Well, I've got an excuse for not playing Final Fantasy 13. By the way, the battle system in Final Fantasy 13 is a little more streamlined, but just like 12, except more fun. But no, there was I gave it to my cousins so they could be.
Have you played 12?
Huh?
Have you played 12?
No, but I heard people said it's boring.
I'm loving it, but that's because the battle system is more behind the scenes stuff than actively doing that, and I really like that about other games like God Hand and stuff, so that might just be my taste that I love it, but...
Yeah, I guess it's a personal taste.
Back to what were you saying about Final Fantasy 13?
Oh, I gave it to my cousins so they could beat the game and then give it back to me so I could, I could procrastinate more. And then I've been playing, one other game I've been playing lately that I forgot to mention was SSX3 on a PS2 emulator, and because it's also really relevant because the sequel is in development right now, and it's going to be pretty good. I hope they come out with a PC version, but if not, I guess I'll have to get it for PS3.
How have you been playing that game? Do you actually have a PC controller?
Oh, well, you mean a PS3? I have a...
Are you playing it with a PS3 controller on your PC?
Yeah, I got a
Okay.
Bluetooth adapter and hooked up the PS3 controller to the PC and just use it with the emulator.
Oh, first, before we move on, I want to, because I know what Daniel was going to say for me to bring up, but fuck the 360 D-pad. That is garbage.
Well, yeah,
like the
everyone knows
I never actually used it for a 2D game before that, but I mean I was playing Devil May Cry. Like it works really well with like 3D games, but 2D games that controller is garbage.
Oh well. So
Anyway,
Because you got the Xbox controller for your the wired one for your computer, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Well. I don't know. I just used the PS3 controller because I had it, and I've always been a fan of the DualShock. I really like it.
So the trigger, I don't hate triggers as much as I used to anymore. That's partially because of what it was used for on Devil May Cry, probably. Like, your sword, this is something I haven't mentioned, you can rev your sword up when you play as Nero like a motorcycle, and it's amazing, and I don't know, it's really good with the trigger. It's the same kind of movement of like a rev when you play a racing game. It's really cool, but anyway, yeah. I know what Daniel wanted me to speak about.
do it.
I've been playing Earthbound,
Aha.
and I'm about 12 hours in.
Just real
Which
quick,
from what
before you get into Earthbound, I saw, you know how Daniel's icon is the dude eating cereal?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't looking at the computer, and then I looked over right as he said, aha, and it looked like the dude with the cereal was saying, aha. Okay.
This reaction is so powerful it affects my reaction image.
Yes.
Holy shit. This isn't game related, but I got a Twitter message from Judge Takei.
Cool.
Hi. Of Star Trek. Oh my. Him?
Okay. He sent you
Kinda
a message.
Like he messaged you like
No,
a private.
he messaged me because I followed him on Twitter and I got a message from him.
Oh.
Guess there was messages like... I've talked about this in story time when
Let's talk about
I pissed
Earthbound.
off fans on Twitter. But Earthbound, that game is an old game.
Yeah, it is.
And I've been playing it immediately next to Final Fantasy XII. That's probably not the best idea.
Nope.
You are no game, sir.
Oh well.
It's just... Well, I mean, obviously, everyone's talking about how like, I've heard talks about how the battle system, it doesn't look good because of the first-person perspective type thing, where you only see the enemy. And, yeah.
I never had a
Especially-
problem with that. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. I mean,
Especially in Mother 3, it looked really nice.
yeah,
I
Mother
haven't
3 was
played
up pretty well. Definitely better than Earthbound, I would think.
The worst part... I mean, Earthbound is really cool. I like it. It's just my kind of game. My favorite line in the thing so far is definitely, like... Have you played Earthbound, Thomas?
Yeah, somewhat. I tried to get into Earthbound and Mother 3. I'm probably gonna try to get into them pretty soon because I'm gonna have a little bit of free time.
Alright.
Well, I mean, we're on a podcast, so I'd probably have to say that, in case the listener hadn't played it, but there's this one part with the, you meet the blues band, and they're driving away, and, like, they, like, hit the sidewalk,
That's what
and
that
one
line
guy
is.
sticks his head... What?
I forgot, when you tweeted about that, I forgot where that line was, but I was just an NPC.
Yeah.
Then I remember.
And he sticks his head out of the window and just says, "Hey, sidewalk, get out of my way,"
Yeah.
and then keeps driving.
Yeah.
And
You know, it's
random
funny,
stuff like that.
during that scene when they're driving the bus, there's a dog that walks around in the street. Sometimes you just run over the dog.
That's awesome. Okay, I need to.
Later in the
I
game,
have to
when
save real
later in
fast.
the game when you're driving with them again, be sure to watch out for that.
Just a quick question though before I continue talking about my opinion. But how far am I in the game? Because I just met him up. Well, actually, all of my characters are named after Devil May Cry
You just
characters.
met the third character.
I met the third character who I named Nero.
I don't know.
And
Probably
I
like
got out of the
25
graveyard.
Probably like 25-30% into the game, I guess.
Hey, real quick, before we go on and talk about another game, I just got a quick joke. Has anybody ever thought of, like, the joke with, like, the survivor guy, but it's like the sniper from Team Fortress 2, and he says, "Out of grenades, better throw my own piss."
I think I have. I don't know.
It's really good.
Oh,
Really
speaking
good.
of which, Thomas, did you see Meet the Medic?
See,
Oh, Meet the Medic, that was great.
oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Archimedes?
No, it's still in there.
Don't worry, they grow back. No, they don't.
Kill me, later.
No, but you think they're gonna do Meet the Pyro, or do you think they're just
And I meet there's one more character they didn't do, isn't there?
I think that was
no,
it.
never mind.
No,
it's
but
Pyro?
I think they are going to do Meet the Pyro, but I think what they're going to do with it is that...
Wait for another big update date?
No, Thomas, I think what you were saying, you're going to be able to find out who the Pyro really is, whether it's like boy, girl, but I think what they're going to do is it's just going to be the Pyro talking, but it's going to be like Pyro speak, even though it sounds like the Pyro actually is actually saying something, but it's just, you know, you don't know what the hell the Pyro is saying.
I don't know. I think they might make a decision. I mean, I doubt they just have one where he goes like, oh, he goes all like Vader breathing and that's all he does for the whole thing. I don't think they'd do that. Valve just...
Remember hearing somewhere that the Pyro was a Scout's mother.
That the Pyro was the Scout's mom.
That's what I heard.
From the Meet the Spy?
Yes, gentlemen.
That would make it different. I don't know.
I forgot what the Red Spy said. He said something in French. He said, mes petits chauffeurs, whatever.
Yeah. It's French, so it probably means I surrender.
My love. Or, baguette, sorry, that's it. Everything in French will translate to baguette if you translate it enough.
Baguette. Okay, I thought you said something different. Anyway, back to Earthbound.
Hooray.
I know this is Daniel already threatened to kill me because of this, but I don't like the music in Earthbound at all. I
guess. I mean, the soundtrack is something that I think I just kind of appreciate just because of the style of the music it is. I mean,
the instrument quality is terrible. Like, I mean, just the way the instruments sound, I don't like. Like, and wasn't it a late SNES game?
Actually, it was...
You don't like 16-bit cartridge fidelity?
No, but I'm talking about like the instrument quality for 16-bit cartridge fidelity is not very good. Like, there are many
lot of music that has to fit on that cartridge, though.
So did like Final Fantasy VI, and that sounded a million times better. For God's sake, the final boss theme of Final Fantasy VI is 18 minutes long with no loops.
I mean, I really like Skyrunner. I can't remember a lot of other music from Earthbound in particular, except for Skyrunner, but...
I don't like any of it except for the intro to the final boss theme.
Skyrunner's
and the rest
good,
of the final boss.
Means Business, Crack LCD is good.
The blast part of Pokemon Means Business is just... It's terrible. It has some of the worst sounding SNES guitar I've ever heard.
I guess. What else is good? I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of smaller tunes, like the town themes I really like.
I just never liked town themes.
I like Boy Meets Girl. That's the Tucson theme. That one's just a nice theme to listen to. Oh, but the credits music. That's a nice theme. I mean,
I
it's not like anything like intense or heavy. It's just kind of like a. It's kind of like makes you like reminisce and like remember. Oh, this has been a great adventure, I guess. And
there could be like the games I've been listening to the Jet Set Radio soundtrack and like Guilty Gear's soundtrack and the Devil May Cry soundtracks a lot lately. So maybe I'm just being snobbish because of that. But
oh well.
There's nothing for me.
Well, that's Earthbound.
I think we should move along because I've actually got shit to do after this.
Yeah, me too. In fact, my people could be here any minute with our new dog, and then I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah, I've got to finish I've got to finish cleaning shit.
Breaking news segment, go.
Yeah, let's get the news and then let's get out of here.
Operation Rainfall, it is?
Yeah, Operation Rainfall, that's going on.
I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about this. What is it?
You know the games like Xenoblade, The Last Story, Pandora's Tower, that the dynamic slash game by the Earth Defense Force people for the Wii? There's a bunch
no
of
fucking idea what you just said. Maybe I should just back.
There are a bunch of games that came out in Japan that have not been announced for Europe, Australia, America, but like there's a big movement to get Xenoblade over here right now. In fact, it's the it's the biggest selling game of the past month right now on Amazon for pre-orders, and that it's not even confirmed for America. And actually, I'm not sure if we're gonna get breaking news before we're done with this podcast, but I saw that according to sources at IGN and Nintendo will report, Nintendo contacted them and told them that later today they're going to be contacting major media outlets about the results of Project Rainfall to see if Maybe then something will finally get like a Mother 3 on Virtual Console if this works.
Yeah, because I remember Earthbound Central was tweeting about that too. They just kind of mentioned that. I think, and that's why I read the article, but I think what they're, well, at least why they were tweeting was because, oh, that gives new hope to Earthbound fans and Mother 3 fans.
Yeah, if we can get...
finish playing through Mother 1 again, but that's a story for another day.
If we can get Catherine and freaking Rhythm Heaven and Elite Beat Agents and all that crazy shit over here, then I don't see why it's not possible to get those games.
I mean, I think, obviously,
Except for Pandora's Tower is the weird one in that lot, because it's about a girl who gets, like, attacked by a demon, and it's like a character action game, and you have to, like, at every level you collect things to stop the girl from being a demon. You have to feed her, like, the flesh of dead demons. Problem is, girl's kind of a vegetarian.
Ha! Fail.
No, like a vegan, so she has to be, like, first fed it, and it's disturbing. And I want it.
I might have to try it at some point, but whatever.
Alright, so is that it for news?
No, there was something else. I guess it's just something else I heard about, like, Congress overturned California's,
video game law thing?
Oh, yeah.
law to ban, sales of, like, violent
video games, yeah.
Effectively making video games, protected under the...
And art form, yeah.
Yep.
Though it kind of already sort of was considered that way, because you guys heard about the Smithsonian?
Yeah, there was a vote on that for what games, and everyone on Earthbound Central voted for Earthbound, but it was only a runner-up. It's like Link to the Past.
I mean, like, every console Mario and...
It got in the Smithsonian?
Exactly! I mean, it was like...
Better game than Majora's Mask.
Well, I
like Link to the Past.
But...
Of course, I'm the one person here who doesn't like it, so that's me saying that. But I like Link to the Past, so okay. It's a game. It's a good game.
I don't like Link to the Past much. I'm not a big fan of 2D Zelda. It's just... Like, just 2D Zelda to me is just boring and repetitive and shitty and bad.
I guess, but I mean, I still like playing the original Legend of Zelda sometimes, and I really like Minish Cap. Minish Cap was one of my favorite Zelda games, but...
Oh yeah, I should probably play Minish Cap, but I just didn't like... I mean, I own original Zelda. I don't own Link to the Past, but I own the Zelda 2. Not because I bought them or anything, but just because my brother gave them to me. And I mean, I played Zelda 1, and I was like... Like, I couldn't even get very far because I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I don't like games that make me use a guide.
Yeah.
And Zelda does that a lot.
I did get a far amount further in Link to the Past. I think I haven't played it in like probably a year or so, but I got on Virtual Console and I was playing it there. But I got how far did I get? I got to like I got to the Shadow Realm or whatever, like what's it called? The Shadow Realm, whatever. I don't really know.
I don't know. I didn't get to that.
The place you get after you get the 3 medallions, and I was there, and I just got stuck there because of this one dungeon, I think, and that's, I don't know, the game just doesn't feel as good as other Zelda games. But a lot of people do like it.
So wait, that got elected as, what was the official title that it got nominated for at the Smithsonian?
Just it's not really...
Super Nintendo, the representation of the 16-bit era. Yeah. That's what I'm not Link to the Past, I thought it was Super Mario World.
No, it was Link to the Past 1.
No, Link to the Past 1 for Super Nintendo RPG. 16-bit RPG, that's
all I remember was that for the RPG, it was Link to the Past beat out Chrono Trigger and Earthbound.
Here, maybe I should look this up.
Yeah, I know I think Shadow of the Colossus won PS2, but almost every generation, like a Mario and Zelda 1.
Would it be Smithsonian Video Game Award?
Yeah, but in the meantime, I guess apparently there is a sudden breaking news, Operation Rainfall update. The developer Mistwalker, they made the last array. They've just they said how they totally support what they're doing, because the thing is with Nintendo of America, like Nintendo owns the rights. Nintendo of Europe and Japan, they don't care if other people publish the games in other territories. Nintendo of America does. And Mistwalker is complaining about that. Because, like, in Europe and stuff, they'll let other games be published by other people, and sometimes Nintendo publishes the odd game. Like, you know who published Mega Man X in Europe?
No.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Like, Nintendo of Europe is so much cooler than Nintendo of America. F you, Reggie.
Alright, so I've got the list of the winning games for the Smithsonian for each system, by system and genre. And yeah, Link to the Past got adventure game of Super Nintendo, action game is Super Mario World, you know, Star Fox got Target or whatever. I'm really just kind of looking for N64. Of course, it's Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 and GoldenEye and Worms.
Worms?
Worms? What? I've never played one.
You need to play Worms, it's a fun game.
Worms Armageddon, 1999, 2000 on N64.
That was a great game. John has that game for his N64. He brought it over sometimes.
For Dreamcast, we got Sonic Adventure, Shenmue, Rez, and Choo Choo Rocket. Sounds about right. Although wait, why the hell did they pick Sonic Adventure 1?
Wait, this is one wonder. Why is Dreamcast with N64, PlayStation, and Zelda? It should be in Era 5 with Xbox and... Oh wait, no, they're in different categories. Never mind. They're not doing it by specific console generation. They're doing it by time lapse. Never mind.
I don't know. I don't know why they picked Sonic Adventure 1.
Over Jet Ryan's Radio?
I think it's because just how groundbreaking Sonic Adventure 1 was.
It was voting though. It wasn't they picked it. People voted on these things.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I guess people might have more nostalgia for the first one, but the second one is like genuinely a better game.
Yeah, it is, but...
I'm surprised they even had enough Sega Saturn games to vote on.
Yeah, Saturn, nobody gives a fuck, got like 2 more.
Ooh! Einhander one for PlayStation. Nobody even knows what that game is except for me.
Who?
Einhander.
Oh yeah,
it's
are you looking at the list as well?
Yeah, I got it pulled up. But anyway, I guess the most important thing is what won for the current era, like stuff. But Xbox was Halo 2, Fable, Panzer Dragoon, and Splinter Cell. And I don't know, I didn't have an Xbox.
360
Bioshock,
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect 2, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2, I approve of. Though Geometry Wars.
I haven't played it, but it looks good.
The Wii version of Geometry Wars is actually the best version because it has even like a single player mode, which is ridiculous and huge.
Look at
Geometry Wars Galaxy.
Look at modern Windows. The
Portal, Fallout
3, Flow, and Minecraft.
I approve of it.
I approve of all of them except Flow. I didn't really like Flow.
Half-Life 2 didn't beat Portal. And it's weird that look at the other option on the runners-up is World at War instead of like Modern Warfare, which is the one that everybody knows and loves. Like I've heard the most praise of.
I know, that's weird.
GameCube.
Yeah, World of Warcraft and Knights of the Old Republic, which I prefer.
What the fuck? For shooters on Nintendo GameCube, one of the runners-up is PNO3, which I want to play that game, but it's not supposed to be a good game at all, which is sort of why I want to play that, because it's like Vanquish, but with...
It's probably like, without miss, Zelda's won each of the adventure categories on all the Nintendo systems.
Yeah, there's Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, which was a horrible game. I hate Twilight Princess.
See, I like... What I played of Twilight Princess was okay, but it was a Zelda game the same way I felt about Ocarina of Time, So, Wind Waker had a bit more involved combat, so like the 12 minutes I've played of that I liked more than the other two.
Yeah, I mean, Twilight Princess just wasn't fun.
Twilight Princess, the whole thing is... never mind, I'm not going to talk about Twilight Princess. We're talking about this, but... Mario Galaxy 2, which I still have not played Mario Galaxy 2. And what the fuck? Boom block, speed, sin, and punishment star successor? I'm going to have to slap a
Anyway, real quick, the thing about the Zelda winning every single on the Nintendo consoles, every single adventure category, that's one of the reasons I kind of want Nintendo to publish on like other consoles like PS3 or whatever, because the like to compete with Zelda, not only do you have to make an amazing like RPG, but you have to make an amazing RPG on a Nintendo console. And I'm not sure how hard the Nintendo consoles are to program for, but I know it's
they're supposed to be really easy. But the thing is, it's because it didn't. No. The thing with the reason it didn't look as good as the other consoles had nothing to do with its resolution output at all. It was all about it didn't have the way they programmed the shaders. They did like 2 at a time with each shaders, where the other ones you could sometimes. Some were single shaders, some were groups of shaders that you program for, but on the other consoles, you could program for each shader individually. That's why we only got like 2 games, Monster Hunter Tri and Red Steel 2, that look as good as other games of this console generation. And everything else, even Mario Galaxy, does not look that it looks like a GameCube game. That's why there's so few of those.
Right. Brutal Legend and Flower won on PS3, as well as Uncharted 2, and Heavy Rain wins for Adventure over Dragon Age Origins and Final Fantasy 13.
Huh. Have you played Heavy Rain?
No, I've never played Heavy Rain.
Jason?
I hear you don't so much as play it, but watch it.
That's not necessarily...
That sounds like Metal Gear. Solid.
Yes, it does. Oh, shit. I
played Dragon Age Origins on PC, and provided that the console versions are kind of dumbed down, but still, I don't see how Heavy Rain would beat Origins and Final Fantasy 13.
Wait a fuck. You know what? Okay, back to PS2 real quick. The 3 nominations were Shadow of the Colossus, God of War, and Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
Hey, that's actually a pretty good game.
Compared to, like,
yeah, Tony Hawk games.
Cry 3, compared to, like, you said SSX 3, that's supposed to be really good. Compared to God Hand, compared to...
Oh, yeah! Shit. Man, for
Tony
actually, I would have definitely voted for SSX 3 if it was up there. SSX 3 is, I mean, SSX
Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition not being on here is crap. I'm sorry. Okay, continue.
I would say SSX 3 is way better than Thug, but I think the Thug series is pretty good.
What is Thug?
Tony Hawk Underground.
Okay. Oh, Thug. Okay.
That's clever.
Devil May Cry 3 being on here, not being on here is just...
Hey, ouch!
That is my fit. Oh, I thought you were talking about me ranting about Devil May Cry. Calming one. What the hell is Final Fantasy 12? That's the only Final Fantasy I don't... Oh god. Look forward for one for Tauget on PlayStation 3.
PlayStation...
Flower.
Yeah,
That's a game you watch and don't play.
What?
I don't like Flower.
Play that game.
I don't like Flower at all.
Have you played it?
Yes!
Huh.
It's just
Brutal
boring.
Legend 1 combat and strategy.
It's pretty, but it's boring. Additional games.
Secret of Monkey Island got additional game.
Super Mario.
That good.
World of Warcraft.
Apparently, these games people will be able to play at the thing. So you'll be able to play Pac-Man, Super Mario Bros., Secret of Monkey Island, Myst, and World of Warcraft.
That's an odd choice for a few minutes.
Yeah, really.
It was Super Mario Brothers and Pac-Man.
Pac-Man and Super Mario Bros. I can get, but Secret of Monkey Island, Myst, and World of Warcraft, I just don't get.
Wait, I'm just gonna really quick check on something for Super Nintendo. What was the runners-up? Nope, no Mega Man X at all.
Really?
Nope. Super Star Wars and Donkey Kong
There's
Country were
Earthbound
the
as a
runners-up.
follow. For Adventure, it's a runner-up. Super Smash TV is a Target runner-up.
Yeah, I can see why Star Fox won because that was innovative, but you know, doesn't hold up.
And
Wait,
SimCity won combat/strategy.
What one for Tauget on GameCube? Oh, Star Fox Assault. I approve of that. That's probably one of the world's
For
best.
Target. Wait, what was that? Ikaruga. Why wasn't Ikaruga?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, wasn't Star Fox Assault like really shitty?
I fucking love that game. There's a mine you can place down that shoots up fireworks the first time I used this weapon, I shot it and I thought, oh, fireworks, that's all? And then they came down and 1,000 grenades exploded and pretty much obliterated half the map.
Alright, we're running a little long, you guys.
Yeah, do we have anything else we need to talk about, like...
There's pretty much only one other major news item, and I'm not sure you guys even care about it.
Let's run through it fast.
GoldenEye Reloaded. They're going to
I think I heard of it.
They're going to be putting GoldenEye to Xbox and PS3.
Did they already do that? Oh, no, they put it on Wii.
No. Perfect Dark, yeah, it's just on Wii.
Gross.
I've heard really good things about the remake.
Report of the original N64 game, but
nope.
HD?
The new one. The new one in HD.
So a port of the remake of the N64 game or a completely new GoldenEye game?
A port of the Wii game. Oh, so apparently they're going to be completely scrapping the texture, just replacing the textures from scratch.
But I mean, the Wii game was the Wii game that they're porting, was that a remake of the original?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
So yeah, it's going to be a port of a remake of a Class C shooter, but honestly, I think from what I've heard, it's not going to hold up too well, even if it's going to be on PS3 or 360. It's going to die off like Duke Nukem probably will.
I think it'll be better than...
Don't compare GoldenEye to Duke Nukem.
No, I'm saying, I mean, it's like Duke Nukem hasn't really aged very well over time. I mean, Duke Nukem Forever, if it obviously was released when it was supposed to, like, in the 90s, it probably would have been a great game, but at this point in time...
I don't think so.
I think at this point, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
have you played...
I mean, how long has it been out? Like a week or two?
Yeah. Have you played the original Duke Nukem 3D?
No. I've Duke Nukem...
I have. The thing is, it is like... It actually has level design, which you don't often see in shooters that well. Mostly just like strategic enemy placement.
Wait, what's this?
But I mean, it had like wide or open levels, like. But this one, the new Duke Nukem, is just incredibly linear.
And very puzzle based, I've seen.
Not good puzzles either. There's first person platforming. There's an underwater sequence.
In Duke Nukem Forever?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a first person shooter, I haven't seen a first person underwater sequence since Devil May Cry 1, which came out in 2001. That's not even a shooter.
But Duke Nukem 3D, that was for a PC, right? Or was it for, like, I can't remember.
Forever?
Huh?
Forever or 3D?
3D.
3D came out for PC, and I think there was a bad port for not Super Nintendo, N64.
Alright. Well, yeah, I have a Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah, I gave you my copy of Duke Nukem 64, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's that. Is there any other news?
Nope.
No, because I have to go.
Alright.
This is our first podcast, so...
So next time, let's try to make sure it's a little more planned out.
Anyway. This has been 3 Inches of Podcast. Thanks for listening.
See you guys next time.
Yeah.
Bam!
Wait, we still don't have an intro.
Yeah, we do.
It's us talking about how we should think of an intro at the end.
That's
the intro.